I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought at night just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another role.
Hello, and welcome to Season 37, Episode 3 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. My name is Kimmy.
My name is Vixie.
I'm June.
And I'm Adam.
And in today's episode, we chat with Adam from Gnome Made Games, our indie designer of the month for April. Wes in Indianapolis wants advice on how to be a good player, not a GM, a player. And from the archive 2022, which seems like it should have been sooner ago, not as long ago. Heath from Maryland wants to know if we've witnessed tropes at the table when new players are there. If you'd like to contribute a question or topic to the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. You can also post in the mailbag channel of the Discord, and you can find the Discord at happyjacks.org/Discord. All right. Announcements. We are getting our one-shot feed back up. I know it's been a while, friends. We run one-shots a lot, but it just is a lot to like process all the audio and post it in all the different feeds. But yes, that is my newest project, to get the one-shot feed caught up with all the one-shots we've been doing for the last 8-ish, 9, maybe 12, maybe 13 months, and get them actually on the feed instead of just on YouTube and Twitch. So if you go there, I did post them with their air dates, like when so it like syncs up with YouTube, so it doesn't seem like, oh, we have a brand new show. Why? It's not on YouTube. No, it's on YouTube. It was posted 9 months ago on YouTube. So yeah, if you go and you're like, there's nothing brand new, it's new to the feed. So check it out. And we're also going to go back and slowly, a bunch of the old episodes when we switched servers and host platforms for the audio, the links got broken. So I'm going back and cleaning those up slowly but surely in all my spare time, friends, because I have nothing but spare time, as we all know. If you search for Happy Jacks One Shots, you should be able to find it just about anywhere you can find your podcasts. And as always, if you prefer to watch on YouTube, they're all there too. Please help us grow our show. Speaking of which, Apple, Spotify, and a bunch of other platforms, including YouTube, have changed their algorithms in the last 4 to 9 months, all to just prioritize short form, very extreme kind of content, big feelings content, and we are very chill, long form content. We are proud of what we do, but the algorithm does not optimize us. So if you could do us a favor, if you could post a comment, like or thumbs up or review or stars or whatever your platform has, it's actually very helpful. And as always, if you want to just tell your friends about us at your friendly local gaming store, other communities, if you're on Discord communities, things like that. If you're still in Facebook groups, which I am still, tell people about us. It helps grow the show. It helps people find us, and yeah, just kind of keeps us going.
Word of caution, make sure that your email is read on the show before you recommend it to your play group.
No, don't know. Don't give that advice. Recommend us, no matter what we say. All right. So here's the awkward part where I talk about Adam without Adam being able to talk back. Our indie designer of the month for April is Adam, they of Gnome Made Games. Adam is a neurodiverse, non-binary hearing aid user who has worked on a ton of solo and team TTRPG projects, including both content for D&D 5e and original game creations. You can find their stuff by visiting gnomemadegames.itch.io or by looking for Gnome Made Games. I'm saying it very quickly with my California accent, but it's Gnome. It's Gnome Made Games. It's very cute. But so to know that's what I'm saying when I talk like a California Valley girl, which I am. Or you can search for Gnome Made Games on DriveThruRPG. Today's product that we're talking about is 12 Realms. And this is going to be kickstarting soon, friends. I'm very excited about it. Personally, I'm very partial to the dice mechanic, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So if you go to Kickstarter.com and you look for 12 Realms RPG, it was actually the first thing that popped up for me. It's very easy to find. And so the realms circle a ringed gas giant called Heru. Is that right, Adam?
Yes.
All right, go me.
Nailed it.
Each of the 12 realms is a world unto itself, spanning oceans and continents teeming with life. From one realm came the dwarves, from another the elves, from another humans and halflings, and so on.
Do you want to switch off?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
But you guys definitely have to do all the mailbags.
Okay.
With the realms so close to each other, these various peoples were not only aware of each other, they visit each other off and on through various ages with powerful magic. The different ancestries shared their knowledge and histories, their cooking and their culture, and even had mixed children together before returning to their own realms. Everything changed an age ago when Heru's pull captured a rogue world as it hurled through the cosmos, the 13th realm. I know, so good, right? When folk from other realms finally visited it, they found a realm with no people, but abundant ruins of an ancient civilization. And coming up from under the ground, mindless monsters. So many monsters. Brave folk from the other realms seek to carve out new homes in the 13th realm. Armed with magic and weapons, they explore the land and its depths, build towns and cities, and stand up to the dangers that would destroy them. The core mechanic, love this part, of 12 Realms is fast, simple to learn, and dynamic. Original to this game, it starts with all the players simultaneously rolling multiple dice and then watching the scenario organically play out as the dice results are quickly resolved based on their character choices. Level 1 roll mechanic. Love it. Nothing but props for that. The core mechanic of 12 round. Oh, I read that part already. So the GM does roll for the monsters, and yeah, it sounds fantastic. And we're going to talk more about it in just a moment. Again, it is kickstarting this week, right, Adam? Maybe soon.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean, this week, as in next Tuesday. Yeah.
Yay!
So what is the date of next Tuesday?
That would be the 7th.
The 7th. Okay, yes. Okay, so it is this.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It's fine. Dates are great. Yeah, very exciting. So I am very excited about this. I love fantasy with twists. I love the idea of it being sort of like science-y. Like everyone knows I'm a teacher, and we talked a lot about the Artemis launch this week, and my first graders did writing about it, and we had the mission control thing up all week, so we watching the orbits and stuff like that. So I love the tie-in of orbiting around this gas giant and planets, but also fantasy, and it's just very cool. So yay. So yes, go check it out, friends. If back it right now, there's the notification screen up, like always. Hit that notification on Kickstarter, support small press indie RPGs, and especially ones with cool one roll mechanics. All right. So now that I'm done talking about you and sort of asking you questions as we go, Adam, which I'm not supposed to do, let's talk a little bit about you. Who are you and what makes you famous?
I'm Adam Hancock. I am not famous. Let me put that out there, but you may have seen a few things that I've done. I co-authored An Elf and an Orc Had a Little Baby with VJ Harris. I teamed up with them again when we did Those Who Wander, which was kind of our 5e hack. And I say hack lovingly because it was a love project, because I did love that system once. And then and then I've been diving into making my own games from scratch, like Luncheons and Dragonflies, where you get to be little tiny woodland critters picking up sewing needles like swords and thimbles like shields and going off and having adventures in the underbrush. And then I also made Playing God most recently, which you get to be the opposite. You get to be the god of an entire multiverse and create worlds and commit deicide and destroy worlds. What else do gods do? That's the most of it. That's most of it. So
Awesome. That's awesome. So how did you get into TTRPGs in the first place? Like as a player, were you like drafted like to be a DM or GM like a lot of us?
I was wandering through a department store as an awkward teen, and I found a D&D box set, and I didn't know what it was. I had no clue, but I was like, this is cool. What, this cover art looks amazing, and I just picked it up and bought it with like whatever money I had at the time. And then I roped my siblings into playing it with me like the next day, and we didn't know what we were doing, and that's sort of how I got started. It's really random. Usually it's like someone else finds you and like you hear someone else talking about it, but for me it was just like, hey, I like this artwork, why don't I pick up this box?
That actually sounds perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
How
out
do you-
just out of curiosity, because I'm a big nerd and I started with the basic set way back in the 80s. Was it the red box, or is this one of the more recent boxes?
So I know I should know the nomenclature for all these boxes, but the box was yellow and there was a red dragon on it, and that's all I remember. So I don't know.
No, that's great.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I feel like as a designer now, I always worry so much about the art because that was such a big thing for me when I was first getting into games. And it's still such a big thing when I'm looking up, like I'm walking around and looking for new indie games. Like the cover is just so important to me, and the same thing with like books and novels I buy. Some people it's not. I think it's just like depends on your personality type. But yeah, my first D&D thing was actually like a book about like the Seven Sisters and Forgotten Realms and stuff like that, which I had no idea was connected with a game called Dungeons and Dragons. Like I bought it in some like bookstore. I think it was like a Barnes and Noble. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's just like random stories about this. And then I got it home. I'm like, and there was like random stat blocks in it. I don't know what that is.
Right.
But it's very strange. So I just skip and like read like the stories about them, and some of the, like there was a ton of stories in there, which is great, and then random numbers, and I was like, okay. And then later I was like, oh, I play D&D now I get what this is. So that's like the one thing I know like a lot about in D&D, because I haven't ever really played like a lot of like canon D&D, but like Seven Sisters, I know them very well because that book. All right.
Yeah,
good.
I think that like the first thing I ever actually picked up that was D&D related was a D&D. It was some sort of almost chess-like kind of battle game, and I don't know what it was, but it's coming back to me now, and I'm like, I think that was my first foray into anything, and it had D&D on the title of the game, but it wasn't the actual D&D game. And then like later on, like 6 months later, I found the actual box set.
It's so funny how yeah, we all come into it in our own ways.
Right.
And how did you jump from playing TTRPGs to designing them?
So I only dabbled when I was a teen, and then picked it up again later because I was doing grad school, and my roommate at the time, because I was so poor, I had to have many roommates, and one of them was really into D&D. He had an online play-by-post campaign, and he invited me to join, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I just started, like, I made a character, and like it went on for like 2 years. So and then I found a group to play in person finally. So yeah. And then going into design, was that your question? I've already forgotten.
That's okay. Yeah, how did you jump from like playing to designing?
Yeah, so I had a really great game group, and almost all of them were brand new players. Like I taught them how to play. And I remember thinking, oh, like if only they had this kind of game aid, like some sort of help in this way. And I made a lot of things. Like I think one of the first things was my partner was playing a druid, and she was having a hard time picking spells to level up. And I was like, I'll make you a spell guide. Things like that, just things to like ease the ride like take down barriers to play for my game group. And I had all these things. And then I found the Dungeon Masters Guild, and I had all these things already made for my game group. And I just started like cleaning them up a little bit and publishing them one after another. So in quick succession, I had like half a dozen things that were actively selling. And then I was hooked because I made like $2 the first month, and I was like, I am making money. This is so great. And it just kept going. And I was writing and editing for a living at that point, or I was about to be doing that kind of work. And slowly more and more tabletop role-playing game work pushed out the rest because I just work faster when I'm doing something I'm passionate about. I could get a lot more done. So
That's awesome. So you said that the first kind of stuff you were selling was like these guides and helpful stuff on DM's Guild. So what was like the first like actual, not like setting or thing, but like game, like adventure or game system that you designed?
yeah, so I don't write a lot of adventures. I think I've written a few.
Okay.
But I found that the process was, because my players are kind of the kind that they don't stick to any roadmap. If you tell them to go here, they will go in the opposite direction. So adventures baffle me. I'm like, how do you get anyone to stay on that path where they actually go in those rooms where all the main villains are? But I did write the Boneyard, and I think it was probably one of my earliest things that you could say, yeah, that's a D&D supplement, not just like a class guide or something. And the Boneyard sold really well, but I can't go back to writing adventures because it just felt so unnatural to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably it.
Yeah, adventures are one of the hardest things for me to write. Like I find coming up with mechanics and creating worlds and stuff like that, like much easier. But adventures, I'm like, but what if they go right when I have them right to go left? And it's just very confusing.
It's hard to come up with a plan for every contingency. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some people who are just amazing at it. So if I'm not amazing at it, just let the people who are amazing at it be amazing at it. Just let them shine.
Just make it all illusion of choice.
Yeah, there
the
you go.
adventure happens wherever they go.
Wherever they go, it's fine. All right, and then one of my favorite questions: why Gnome Made Games?
Okay, so I have ADHD, and I really gravitate toward the idea of like this tinkering gnome. I like to combine like the idea of the tinkering gnome with the gnome out in the woods doing something mystical with fairies or something. But like the idea that like there's a creature whose mind never rests, who is always sort of busy doing something, like they can't sleep very well, and so they stay up at night tinkering. Like that kind of mental image has always just sort of fascinated me. And so I often play gnomes when I'm playing D&D. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea of like if a gnome were really into, tabletop role-playing games, like then their creations would be the Gnome Made Games. And so I kind of feel like akin to that concept because I'm always like tinkering and trying to like make the better thing and refine it. And I stay up late thinking about things, or wash dishes thinking about games. And that's my brain 24/7.
I love it. We love a clever name. It's very good.
And by the way, I think you described that most of us are gnomes who are listening or playing.
Yes.
I know. It describes so many of us. I also think it's funny. It's really funny to me that when you say it fast, it sounds like you're saying no made games. Like I haven't made anything. Because when I first came up with that was true. I was like, no made games.
No, I think I don't know. I go straight to homemade, and I'm just like, okay, like, yeah.
I thought it was games
like
from a
too.
messy.
Oh, that's not what you were doing? Oh, I totally thought it was a play on like homemade games, and it was no made games.
No made games, like none.
Amazing. Okay. Well, it has. There are many facets of
Right.
the awesome name for your company. I love it.
Yes.
Very cool. And so tell us a little bit more about 12 Realms. Like, why did you want to make a fantasy game?
Okay, like I'm not going to go into too many of the details about why I fell out of
Sure, yeah.
love with my favorite tabletop role-playing game, but I did.
Okay.
That happened in 2023, and then I thought there must be my perfect ideal game out there somewhere, and I'm going to find it. And then I will make that my home game, and hopefully they have some sort of license where I can tinker with that and make supplements for that. And I was confident, and so I raced out there and did something that I should have done years before, which was like read every rule book that I could get my hands on. And I read dozens and dozens and dozens of TTRPG rules, and I liked so many things. There were so many gems, but I always came away going, they don't meet this criteria, or that little bit isn't how I would have wanted to do it. And eventually it got to the point where I had kind of half built a system in my head, looking at all these other games and going, I would have done it a little bit differently, or what if they didn't even think to do this? But it's not really all those things. I didn't take very many pieces from other places. It's just by like engaging with all these other rules, I started to create my ideal system in my head once I knew more of the options out there. The different ways, like the TTRPG landscape. And then I was just like, I have to make this game that I've sort of half created already, that I have this outline for. And that's sort of how it started. So everything you see here is sort of me just going, yeah, this is how I would want to do it if it were the ideal game, which I was confident was out there, and maybe it still is somewhere, but I have not found it. So this is it. I'm making it myself.
The perfect hands
Awesome.
down. No others. Awesome.
Sometimes
So-
you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So where did the kind of concept of like having actual physical different worlds in like a solar system type like idea come from?
Yeah. So you might remember I said that VJ Harris and I wrote An Elf, an Orc, and an Orc Had a Little Baby. If you're not familiar with that, just briefly, it's the concept is that instead of picking a singular species or ancestry or whatever you want to call it, you pick two birth parents instead. I really like that because it feels more immediate and personal. Like these are my people. I knew them. I grew up with them. If they didn't raise me, then at least I looked like them. And VJ Harris and I had created that, and it got me thinking. We talked. VJ Harris is a great writer, very gifted designer, and immediately saw what I was doing when I brought them on board, and made it so much better in just such a short time. And he and I had a lot of discussions about bioessentialism and its place in TTRPGs. Some of it a very ugly history, which is just like all, the stereotypical one is all orcs are evil, and so there's immediate justification to slaughter them. And that never sat well with him, and it certainly hasn't sat well with me, especially in the last few years. So I wanted to create a system, a literal planetary system, because it didn't make sense to me that there would be different, all these different peoples, these different species, ancestries, whatever you want to call them, and there not to have been some sort of environmental reason for them to have become the way they are. And so I wanted them to actually be from different worlds. but I thought that's so alienating at the same time, because then they're basically like extraterrestrials, and you can't, like, what kind of relationship can you have with someone who you've never interacted with before? And then I thought, well, let's just bring them much, much closer together. And so that's why I have all these habitable moons that orbit the same star, because these are people who've been aware of each other for millennia, and they, all they have to do is look up at the daytime or nighttime sky, and they probably can see one of the moons and go, oh yeah, that's where the elves come from, right? You have an elf in your class, right, at school. And so you could can talk about those sorts of things. And it makes sense why they're different in the ways they are, because the elf world has certain characteristics that it makes sense that the elves would have evolved that way. But also the elves are here because, some of them came from that world to this one because it's so close. All you need is just some powerful magic or a powerful magical creature to hitch a ride on, and you've come here. But it's not so close that you're like, oh, they're here all the time and we can't, know. So I really wanted to make that place, and that was sort of the impetus for Heru and its moons, which became the 12 realms.
I love that, and I love you also kind of added like the adventure zone with the 13th the 13th realm. So you have these what are essentially like homes, because you don't necessarily want to have like kind of that colonial, like the colonialists, like, oh, we're gonna go to this realm right now and like mess up stuff and like hunt things there in their home. So now you have like, okay, you can all go to this place where you're not gonna mess up like sentient, cultures thing. So I think that's a really interesting addition there. And also it's just cool to have like planets pulled in and made into orbit, and just that's very cool.
Yeah. And I love the idea that like it's not just like an empty world, but like it was once peopled, and there are ruins everywhere you look, under the ground, under the oceans, trapped in glaciers. And so like what the big mystery is, what happened here? It has its own history, but it's so like, this is the actual alien world, but there are no aliens. It's just what they left behind. And I think that's a really cool idea as well. Like there's the mystery in the background of like, why is this the way it is, and where did all these people go?
Yeah. Now, if a player was more interested in that avenue of adventuring, like, hey, I don't really want to fight all these monsters unless I have to. I want to be like an archaeologist and mostly go and like, is that like one of the things that a player can choose to do?
Oh, absolutely. Like there are going to be, if I have my way, we're going to have entire adventures. So it's just archaeology, like
Awesome.
Just this is what it's like to explore this place. Because I know that there are people who are not big into combat. And if you're not big into combat, then you have a place here, and there are things for you to do. And there are heroic quests you can go on. But if you are into combat, there are a lot of monsters to fight too. So you can do that.
I read through the Kickstarter document, and you talk a little bit about what the way the system works. And first of all, I love a D12 system, so kudos on that. But also, the way that you've structured it makes it so that you can still have an exciting time and have a lot of interesting interactions without combat, because the GM's roles represent other challenges and other things that are happening in the scene. I just thought that was a really neat design element.
Yeah. The GM is always rolling. Every time the players roll, the GM is rolling, unless there's some sort of weird interplayer violence going on. That probably won't happen very often. But if you're trying to pick a lock, the GM rolls for the lock, and that always happens. So
cool. And so why a D12?
So D12, let's see. It's a really good question, and it's not like it's okay to call it a D12 system, because that just happens to be the most sides on a die because we don't use a D20
Okay.
or any of those other weird ones like a D33.
So you use a lot of polyhedral dice.
So you can use, but we have a variety of dice. So I gave you the example of the lock. If you have a very, very basic lock, maybe it's rusty, maybe it's broken, you just use a D4, right? But if it was crafted by the most amazing locksmith craftsman that ever walked the earth, then that lock might be a D12 instead. And it might have like its own surprises beyond that, but it's going to be a really, really complicated and difficult task to pick it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And as a designer, are you a mathy person, or are you a story person who does math sometimes, or are you a mathy person who does story sometimes, or do you like both the same?
I think I don't like math, but I do like what math can do.
Yes.
So
Okay, that's a good answer.
I use it the same way. Let's see. I don't know. I use it whenever I need to use it to get it to go somewhere. So I'm going to use it quite often sometimes, and then other projects almost not at all. So
Okay. That's fair.
So not a math person, but a math enthusiast.
A math hobbyist, if you will. Uh,
I just noticed for designers, there's people who come up with the math first and then go find and build a story around the math or percentile or mechanics they came up with. And then there's people who design like their worlds first and then go and create mechanics that serve their story. So it's just kind of like, it doesn't always, some people do both, or it depends on the situation, obviously. But some people always do one first or the other.
no, I think I'm more like I have a problem that is in need of a solution, and then if necessary, I will use the math. But I don't create the math part first, the mechanics part first, and then like come up with a justification for why it is the way it is.
Okay. Fair. All right. Any other stuff about 12 Realms that you want to talk to us?
So you mentioned the simultaneous rolling, where everyone picks up. This is one of the most exciting things for me when I think about playing 12 Realms around the table. Is everyone picks up all their dice all at once. Anyone who's involved in the challenge and rolls them all at once. And I just imagine like dice, the sound of thunderous dice all the time.
Yes.
And then you don't have to pick them up again until, unless everyone's dice are resolved, and then you can go on to the next round, or maybe that is the end of the challenge. So depending on how things play out. But I just love the idea that, you're going to have deafening clatters of dice all the time.
Yeah. It's always great to have everybody roll at the same time too, because it's just like there's an excitement about it, and it's not like you have to wait your turn to have your moment of excitement before someone else goes.
Right.
Like everybody goes and everybody's excited, and what'd you okay, how'd it work out? It's just very chaotic, but also like very exciting, and I find it generates energy well.
And I love the idea that once you roll all the information you need, there are no subsequent rolls unless you're going on to another round. Like all the information you need is on the table, and that's what 12 Realms mechanics are in a nutshell.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good. All right. Very good. So yes, if 12 Realms sounds exciting to you, if you like spacey sci-fi with orbits and one roll dice mechanics, check it out on Kickstarter. It's launching this Tuesday, which we already set a date for, and I forgot the date already. The 7th? The 7th. Yay.
April 7th.
April 7th. Go get notifications ahead of time. Just go to Kickstarter.com and you can search for 12 Realms RPG, and it pops right up right now. It's the first thing. Yay.
Yep.
Yay. Thanks.
Cool. All right. Mailbag number 2. I'm not reading it.
Okay,
Someone else do it.
I can do
all right,
it.
Okay. All right, after you, June.
My dearest Happy Jacks, Based on the articles I've read and the podcasts I've listened to over the years, the culture of tabletop role-playing puts the burden of good game on the game master. The game master, usually, picks the game, sets the tone, guides the story, adjudicates the rules, and, broadly, is responsible for making sure that everyone at the table has a good time. Traditional style game rulebooks that provide play guidelines seem to solely target the game master, such as focusing on different player play styles, dealing with the different player personality types, and helping to facilitate positive interactions. These instructions read like the effective executive, but focus on creating shared stories about orcs and super knights instead of increasing corporate revenue through shared company culture. The lack of advice to and expectations of players has left me wondering, why are players left out of the discussion when it comes to a good game? I recently scrolled through a Reddit post where Threads participants were asked, why did you quit game mastering? Though there were some interesting variations in answers, such as, I don't actually like the fantasy genre, I like sci-fi, the majority of responses followed a similar theme. My players didn't seem to care. I felt like I was being taken advantage of. I felt like my time was being wasted. Another almost universal response was, players who also game master are the best players because they know and appreciate what it takes to make this work. As a culture, we're not provided consistent examples on what being a good player looks like. It isn't realistic or fair to expect every player to be an ex-game master. So if you were to provide the most fundamental and basic of play advice that was solely targeted towards players and would hopefully improve their table activities, what would it be? All the best, Wes in Indianapolis.
Ooh,
All right.
this is really interesting.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I feel as someone who's quite recently been writing the GM section to her TTRPG. Yeah, it's interesting because so much of how to run the game is how to get the players to buy in and like kind of play the game the way it's intended, without being a jerk, and like here's also some suggestions to take some of the work off of you and stuff like that. But a lot of, especially more traditional books of the past, have had very little like information about how to be a player other than the just actual mechanics and here's what your character would know about your universe. So yeah, it's definitely something that is being paid more attention to, but I don't know if it's enough yet. So what do you all think?
I do think I hear where this is coming from, and yes, this is pretty pervasive, and it's a very
Can you
interesting.
be a little louder, Pixie? Sorry.
Sorry. It's a very interesting conversation. Let me move my mic a little closer to my face too. It's a very interesting conversation because on the social media side, there's actually a lot more social media content focused around how to be a good player. There are creators and I'm using someone who's very well known. I'm like Jenny D, who actually has a conversation about what it means to be a good D&D player specifically. That's her focus. She focuses on D&D. But like stuff like that is now more prevalent because there is a need for this, because a lot of the onus does get placed on the game master, and you can see a lot more collaborative storytelling games that help sort of spread that responsibility mechanically across the table too. Good Society being one of those games where it's not just the game master with the NPCs, it's everybody at the table will take responsibility for NPCs. So the onus isn't all on one person, just to use that as the initial example. So I think if I were to that's not the answer in the question. It's just providing context
Information
for the
about,
answer.
yeah, well, and like
Yeah.
talking about more people and like people are making games, providing more information and support to players is a good example. I think honestly the based on the emails we've gotten in over the years, many years at this point, I'd say that the biggest thing is scheduling. Like if you make yourself available for a day and you pick a day with your group, do your best to be there. Like whatever game you're playing, like we all get it. Like life happens. Like 100% life happens. But if it's like on Tuesday nights when your game is, if like the game is like the lowest thing on your priority list, like it's just like, okay, like after you cancel every other time for long enough, it starts getting to be just rude. Like commit to it. Like like yes, it's great that you want to do it. It's great you want to spend time with us as your friends. It's really annoying for us when you make one out of every 3 or 4 games. It ruins our play flow. It ruins all these things. You know, almost like just to hang out with us on Saturdays at the bar or whatever. Like just pull yourself out of the game. I think that's the biggest thing as a GM and also as another player. And both those things for home games, especially, just people who are inconsistent and just it seems like just not even inconsistent, but like don't prioritize showing up when they've made the commitment. Like, oh yeah, I'm just not feeling it tonight, or I'm tired. And like, okay, yes, self-care is very important. Hydrate, you know, great reminder in the chat earlier. But like, okay, you've also committed to this thing. So if you're gonna commit to this thing, please.
For sure. Honor your commitment to the game once you said you're gonna commit. And I think the other big advice that I would give is awareness of yourself and the players around you. Something that I encounter a lot is players making very selfish decisions at the table in character because it services specifically what they want to do and the narrative that they have created in their head, and fails to take into account that it's not just their narrative, it's a collaborative narrative. Everybody's working at the table together to tell that story, right? And I when I say selfish, there's a big difference between like, this is my character story and I'm playing out my character story versus I'm gonna like do this thing and F everything up because I feel like it. Like, I'm gonna cast Shatter even though I know 2 other players are within range of Shatter. Not that this has actually happened to me before or anything, but and screw over 2 other people out of their HP, despite the fact that they have the ability to help me. It's like it's moves like that that I consider very selfish and don't take the rest of the table into consideration. I feel like it's really important to be able to like see the big picture of how everyone is working together. Not just for the GM. By default, you have to do that as the GM, but also as the player, too.
Absolutely.
So.
Verk, just like in the chat, the perfect phrasing for it, back to like the scheduling thing, not to to step on your point, Vixie, you're absolutely 100%. But Verk says, we all joke that it's scheduling. It's not. It's people not dedicating the time that they've scheduled. Like, that's like, yeah.
I was told something very, very smart by my therapist because we had a conversation around this, and the way that she phrased it was also similar. Basically, if you want to make time for it, you'll make time for it.
Yeah.
If someone truly doesn't to me, someone who, unless it's obviously like your house blows up or something, you know, terrible happens that you can't control, that's force majeure. We can't do anything about that. But like, if you're most of the time, 9 times out of 10, if you want to be there, you'll be there.
Yeah.
Anything else is just, you don't want to be here. And that's okay. Like, that's valid, but just be honest about that, you know?
Yeah.
Assuming that people show up for the game, obviously you can't have a game if people aren't showing up for it. But I think the biggest thing for players to remember is that we are here to collectively have a good time and collectively tell a story. And this goes a little bit into the point about not making selfish choices, but it means that you need to be aware of what's happening. And if you are, it's okay to play a character who has selfish motives and does that, but talk to everyone else first and make sure you're not going to stomp on their fun. A lot of us have had bad experiences where you have someone who prioritizes their own fun over everybody else's, and that's the one who does stuff just to piss off the rest of the group or just to screw with the GM's work and effort, which, by the way, is in some ways the worst of the things you can do as responding directly to this email, because they took time out of their life to plan this, to run this, to get the materials together, to probably coordinate the group, because most game masters end up being by default the one who are doing that as well. And you said you wanted to play and you made a commitment. Don't shit on all of the work that they've done. That's basically telling them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think that be appreciative, be present, don't be exclusively making jokes, don't be exclusively on your phone. Pay attention to what they've done and what they're laying down. And if you don't like the direction the story is going in, that's fine. But talk to them. Don't just disrupt it because you can, because you think it's funny. Like, appreciate that other people have spent time and effort and cleared out part of their schedule to be here, and that we're all here to have fun together in theory, not just fun for you.
Yeah, I think like adding on
Yeah.
that, there are other people who do it like in bad faith because they think it's like funny to be disruptive as a player, but there's also people who sit down and play and are totally serious about it. That not to screw with the GM's plan and not to necessarily screw with other players, but just because they absolutely will not bend on like what they want to do as a character. Like they're like, this is what my character would do.
Oh,
I have an adjustment for that, though.
never
See,
say that.
here's the thing.
Ugh.
That's fine. Play a character who does want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
we're here to do...
Yeah.
Well, look, we're here to do this thing. That character is not written in stone. If they are a loner, then come up with a narrative reason why they do stick around with everybody. Make that part of their arc that they change. Or talk to people and arrange it so there are times when you can go off alone and it doesn't derail everything like that. But anyone
if
who
you-
says, that's what my character would do, my answer is play a different character then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
They're
change
like,
the character.
ugh. The lone wolf trope is one of the things that I kind of hate more than anything in this world. I have a whole D6 table that explicitly makes it so that you know something about everybody at the dang table, because this has pissed me off so much. Because like my character just wouldn't go because they don't feel like it. Cool, dude, stay home. Bye. I
right.
don't know what to tell you. I'm not. Especially if I've given you every which way to get there. Like, stay home then. I guess. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Play a character who would go.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
know,
that
Change
sounds.
it.
Yeah, that
Time
sounds
to
like a
roll a new
thing.
character.
Based on Adam's example, that sounds like a thing you should definitely put on DM's Guild now.
For sure.
Like people could
Oh
use
my
it.
One of my favorite things to play is the mom character who just wants to like feed everyone soup and like take care of all
Yes.
their hurts and like talk to them when they're having a hard time. Like I love that character. I've been a grandma, I've been a mom. Just like one of my characters was like the mom who like was sending money home to her husband and kids, and that's why she's adventuring.
Mhm.
But also like she became kind of the mom of the group, and she tragically died. But
Oh.
and everyone was really brokenhearted about it. I think because like they'd grown attached to this like character who actually cares and wants to be there for the other characters. I think that's one of the things, like the best thing you can do as a player. I'm most often the GM, and my favorite characters are the ones. My favorite players are the ones who like are big fans of other players' characters. Like they like those characters and want to be with those characters adventuring, and like are invested in their story arcs too. And that might, if they had to put it categories, put it in order, maybe their character would be at the top, but close seconds would be the other characters. And I really, really like that idea.
Yeah.
That's
To
awesome.
build on that, I also think like as a player, the other advice I would give you is become a fan of the GM's world. Because the GM puts a lot of time and effort into creating the world. And I think that one of the I've been both a player and a GM, and I think that it makes for a much better story when you really think about the world and how your character fits into it.
Yeah.
Just to we just did this like earlier, so I have masks on my mind. But like when Rose created the world of Neon Knights, like all of us put a lot of time and effort figuring out who our characters were and who our characters were within that world. Like, what college do we go to? What are we doing like as normal people? Like, we figured out like what our day-to-day lives look like, and I feel like that helped make the world feel lived in as well. And it gave us reference points because like, oh, this is our neighborhood, like, do we know X, Y, and Z? Is this someone that we've dealt with before because like we grew up here? Questions like that really help, again, add that level of depth to the story that makes people become more invested. So I definitely think like becoming a fan of the world, asking the GM questions about the world, being like, what would my character know? What, like, does my character have any experience with this? Um, like, is really important as a player, because now you can create a character that's kind of integrated into the world. And if anything, it makes it easier for both you and the game master for like in terms of the story as well.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
In that part, I like, if you're a player, offer some ideas too. Like,
Mhm.
there are a lot of games where there is a collaborative effort, but even a game where there's much more of a hard line between this side of the screen and that side of the screen, offer a suggestion of what something looks like. You know, take a little bit of that narrative weight off of the game master. Ask, you know, if you're not sure, ask if it's okay. Like, hey, we're in this inn. Is it okay if there's a mounted moose head on the wall? Because you've made a plan for that now. But now that's a detail that everyone can remember. Oh, that's where that is. And when I knock the guy's sword out, it can go fall on the antlers. And we all have that sort of as a, you know, a common reference point. But then that's one less thing that the GM had to think of on the fly. If you're describing a new NPC that you're bringing in, name that NPC for the GM. Like, that is a huge thing for them. If you have your old friend who's going to do you a favor, you come up with that name, because that's one of the hardest things that people have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. The character sheets for the game I'm making right now legit have a list of names, so that it's not just on the GM. Like, you have no excuse. Just pick a name off your specific playbook's personalized custom list of names and cross it off, and then like nobody has to worry about it. It's just there, because I hate that part so much.
Mhm.
I also
wanna-
think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I realize that I'm a bit of a hypocrite with this one. Like, I'm owning it. I'm owning it now. But know the basics of the rules. Like, if you're playing a specific class or have certain abilities or whatever, like, know the basics of how to play the game. And if you have a terrible memory like me, which we all know I have a terrible memory, have some notes that you can decipher later. It's not helpful if you write them down and don't know what they say later. But, or like the internet has tons of like cheat sheets or like one pagers or for all different systems that can really help you along with that as well. That can like support that.
Record your session and listen to it again while
Yeah.
you're driving. You know,
Yes.
like, give yourself a Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, well, not just what happens, but like just the literal mechanics of how you play the game too. Yes, absolutely. If you have the ability to play back and listen to like the actual narrative story beats too, but as a GM, it does get a little hard, and I realize this is also payback. Or just like for all the times as a player, I always forgot the rules. But having that there is just really helpful. And then you can be like, oh, is it this? And then the GM can be like, yes. And then you're like, okay, great.
Instead of having to look up everything
Every single
about that,
time,
whatever.
or asking every single time to do something that you do a lot.
Right.
If it's a random, like, grappling rules, okay, we all collectively across the universe realize whenever somebody grapples, we're gonna have to look it up. Like, it's gonna be a thing. Like, okay, I get it. But if it's a thing, okay, how do I hit it with my sword? Well, you hit the things with your sword every turn since session 1. We're on session 10. In the
You've
same
hit
dice every
hundreds of
time.
times.
Yeah.
Just start with
If you're at
your
my
roll to
table,
attack,
I'll make you a
please.
character guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go.
But that's kind of, I was thinking of, again, a lot of PBTA games, when you have those like Excel spreadsheets that people make, they'll put the list of moves that you can do within that game. And it makes it easier to learn the game as well when you're new to the system. Because now you can see, these are all the things that I can do, you know, as my character within. And then, like, of course, obviously you might have some special talents that your character has, or things that are specific to your playbook, of course, but it gives you a general sense of like how the game works, you know. And I always find that that's a really good thing to have as a player. So definitely learn the rules.
Yeah,
if you can.
Yeah, don't have to have them all memorized. Just like the
No.
stuff you use the most.
Right.
You should not have to ask every single time past like session 2 or 3.
If you cast Burning Hands twice a session, you should know how that works by now.
Yeah.
So someone called me out about recording the game. Absolutely talk to your other players, talk to the game master, make sure it's okay if you do something like that, because you don't know what someone's limits are. So that might not be for all tables, even if you have that option.
Yeah.
Also, in this context, I believe we're just being recorded for the benefit of the table and the game master. It's not anything that's being put on like Apple or anything like that.
Right.
So I think that just providing more context for that is important too.
Unless you're
Still,
here
if-
on Happy Jacks.
Yeah. Still though, like if someone's not comfortable with that, then yeah, always, ask first before
Yeah.
doing something like that. And
So,
I wanted to just add one more point to this. Something that we do at one of my tables, we play a game of Good Society on a weekly basis right now. We rotate who takes notes, so that we always have a set of notes for the session, but no one person is solely responsible for that. So it's not like it becomes a burden on any one person. The only person who kind of isn't allowed to take notes, she'll take notes anyway because that's her style, but like is our game master, because the point was to like lessen the burden on her. But you can definitely like find a role that you can fill that'll help make the game master's life easier without stepping on their toes like that. And I feel like that's a significant contribution to the table as well.
Yeah.
in terms of etiquette at the table, the thing that I dislike as a game master most of anything of all is we end the session and I ask people for input. How did I do? Did you like this? How was that? And the response you get is, oh, it was good. I had a good time. Cool. That didn't tell me anything about if I want to try and get better. So if your game master asks for feedback, give them feedback. A practice that I've started and we did in Neon Nights is at the end of the session, do what we were, stars and wishes and sparkles, where you star other people in the game and say what they did that was really shined and made you think about their character. And it helps everyone be a fan of the story. It means that you're paying attention to what's going on to those other characters and not just waiting for your turn to roll the dice. And the sparkle gives you an opportunity to say something that you think that you did really well, whether it got called out or not. And it could be as simple as, I rolled that 20 at the right time on there. But it could also be something subtle like, I'm really glad that, I felt like I did a really good job talking to that child in the alley. Cool. And it just makes everyone sort of pay attention. And make sure that they're checked into the game. Because if you know that people are going to be looking at you at the end of the game, waiting for you to say something, you got to have something that you're going to be able to say on there. But seriously, for players, I cannot say this enough. Give your GM feedback. If they ask for it, absolutely do it. Even if they don't, if there was something that you thought was particularly great or particularly heinous, send them a note. Shoot an email that like, don't be accusatory about it, but just say, hey, we did XYZ and I think maybe it might work better like this. Or was there a reason that we did that sort of thing? Or, oh my God, when the dragon wanted to play Pinochle, that was fucking awesome. Just let them know so that they know that the time and the effort that they put into this is being paid off, that you want to help them make it better, that you are enjoying what's happening, because that kind of feedback is what fuels the creativity and the desire, and to put up with all of the work that you have to do to make that happen.
Yeah, and to build on that, like wishes, specifically, a lot of people seem to think like take it in a negative context, but it's not. Wishes aren't necessarily negative. They're things that you wish you saw more of in the game, and being able to articulate that to your game master is very important because it helps them understand what you're looking for as well. Like saying things like, man, I wish I could have used my character's combat skills more. I built a fighter and didn't really get to utilize that. Lets the game master know, okay, I should put more combats into the next session so that this person can get a little more out of the game. That kind of back and forth communication is really important. And that's how feedback would be used in a healthy way. Like, not all GMs do that. Some GMs, are maybe not as open to feedback, to be kind. But others may really want that. Others are like, tell me what you want to do, especially if you're playing like a shorter campaign or something like that. It's so important to articulate that so that the game master can incorporate those things and you don't end the campaign not having done something that you really wanted to do, But yeah.
All right. Yeah. Like, one of the things I think, like, if you want to be a good player, like, Vixie was saying earlier, there's a lot of information out there. It may not be in every game manual, but it is out there on the internet. If you want to improve being a player at your table, go and to the Googles and search it out, and be careful. Make sure safe search is on, or not, whichever you prefer. We're not going to shame, but you can find out there like ways and advice for whatever you feel like you might be lacking, or just general advice. A lot of it is out there. It's not included in every book, but you can find it, and that is somewhat on you to go and like improve yourself as a player, improve your skills, improve your understanding of the games, all those things. Like, spend that time, and that's really like the most, like the best thing you can do as a player is realize, hey, I am also supposed to be learning about myself and how to better myself and do things, and go do it, do the thing.
Or write in another email and you'll get a different batch of people and we'll give you different advice.
Yay!
Or send us content.
Ask your GM, you know?
That is very
It's
obvious.
true.
Good job.
So what you do is you turn on Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
You have books in front of you. You have YouTube open, and then we just do a montage of you
Yeah.
becoming a better player.
Roll the dice.
Nodding.
like on Discord with
no.
your GM, because that is actually very good advice. I don't want to brush over that Adam mentioned. Also, just ask your GM, like, hey, how am I doing as a player? Also realize that they'll probably be like, you're doing great, because it's also
Or is
awkward.
there anything I can do to take some response? Like,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
do you want me to be the scheduler instead of just de facto it always being the GM? Or do you want me to track initiative instead of you doing it all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's such a big help.
Totally, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Wes in Indianapolis. We always appreciate your messages. I can't just say emails anymore because people are now posting in Discord. Your messages, your missives, I don't know what to call them.
Missives are great.
Missives.
I love that.
Missives is nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fancy. All right. Mailbag number 3 from the archive 2022.
I believe it's me.
Ready, go.
Yes. Hello, Knights of RPG who say, drink. Longtime listener, one-time winner of an easy roller dice tray, and first-time emailer. That's a lot of E's in one sentence. With the need of some emails, I'm sending this your way. Back before time, Christmas of 2018. Back in the before time, Christmas of 2018, I was able to play D&D with my younger brother and my nephews. My brother was the GM, with me and my 3 nephews being the players. This was the first time playing D&D for my 2 younger nephews, who were both 7 and 9. Over a few days of my Christmas visit, we got a good 10 plus hours of gaming.
Nice.
Me and the older nephew, who was 20, helped the youngling with the game, letting them lead. During the game, many different gaming tropes happened. They split the party during a battle, they ran towards the danger, almost dying, and telling an NPC they just met about a deal they just made. My question is, have you guys sat in or hosted a first-time player, young or old, where a gaming trope happened? Sincerely, Heath from Maryland. Thank you, Heath.
All right. I have one, and then I have one that's like the opposite.
Okay.
So I'm going to do both, and I know that's not what the email called for, but I'm in charge, so I'm going to do it anyway. So I was running one of my very first games of D&D. I was like brand new DM. I think I'd only DM'd for like Stu and the Crew and stuff, like a little bit, and I was like DMing something at a con, and I think it was like, I don't even think it was an on the books game, like it was just like something I was doing, and there was someone who hadn't really played before. They were like an older teenager. I think they were there with their parents at the con, and like their parents were gamers, and I think they were just like, hey, because at the time I was like mid-20s, they're like, you look younger, would you hang out with me? And I was like, okay. But this, like, at the time they were using he and pronouns, like this like young teenage dude just like his to solve every problem he would set things on fire. Everything.
It's on fire. It's not a problem anymore.
That's right.
Like, it's just one of those things where I was just like, oh, friends, like, like even my young 20 self was like, what? Like, and, like one of the things, like he was trying to like help people, and it, like I don't remember because it was something I kind of had made up on the spot. and they were supposed to be getting people evacuated before like an attack came, but people weren't believing them. So like one of his things was like, I bet if we set the tavern on fire, people will leave.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also
Exactly. I mean, technically right.
Yeah, they'll probably leave. And it was just like, yeah, it was just like a lot. It was fun, and it sort of like devolved into a lot of us like laughing, and it sort of became a joke with him too. Like he started to realize a little like how wild it was. But the first few times he absolutely was very serious about this plan, and then he started leaning into it. But like, okay. Then my counter example was I was running. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of it now. We talk about it all the time. The little kids game that I love.
kids
It's
on
like
bikes.
no.
No,
It's
different one?
designed for little kids.
Oh,
Hero something.
Heroes with capes.
No, it's like
Or-
Little heroes,
it's
tiny
literally
heroes.
no. It's like I'll think of it in a second. Give my brain time to
Okay.
catch up. But it's literally designed for kids who are like 4 to 7. Like it's
Okay.
very simplified mechanics. It's not about kids. It is literally like a fantasy hero kids. There we go. Thank you, Virg,
Hero
in the chat.
kids.
hero kid.
Yeah, it is literally designed for little kids. And I was running a game for my godson and a bunch of kids at the con, and they like, and I'd like had okay, they've got their little thing, and there's the evil, and like you were saying earlier, like it wasn't an orc, it was something else that was like a little monster, and I don't remember what they did, but like it was like the thing you expect them, like, oh, you all have swords, you all have things, and they decided like they were gonna do something nice because obviously his feelings were hurt. That's why he was mad all the time.
Oh.
And this little group of like 4 kids who were literally like, I think Zach was like 4 or 5 at the time. They were like 4 to like, I think the oldest one was like 7. Like decided that they were gonna do something really nice for this guy and help him because then they could be his friend and they wouldn't have to fight him.
Oh,
Oh my
Beautiful.
god.
I was so
I love
good.
this.
It was like legit. Like I was like welling up. I was just like, okay, you can absolutely do that. Yes, you can. Like I forget what it is. It was something very wholesome, like a cake or something. I don't know. It was something very cute. And the whole thing, like these little kids who like everyone has the trope of like little kids always wanting to smash things. These kids came up with this very like emotionally healing way to become the friend of this person who was going to be their foe and like end the adventure that way. And it was amazing. And they were all brand new. I don't think any of them had ever played, like their parents were all gamers, so they had the idea of it, but they had never really done it themselves. And they just broke like every expectation and every trope that even the game was kind of designed for. And it was just magic. It was amazing.
Oh,
It still like
I love
makes me
that.
tear up a little bit. So good.
yeah,
All right.
I have a trope, but it wasn't
Okay.
a child. I feel like for me, kids who are who are around that age get a pass because they're usually a lot of their stuff is exploration, right? What can I do? Can I blow stuff up? Is like what is the real like? I feel like I give them a little more grace to mess up because they're gonna do the wild thing, just because they're kids, right? And they want to see what happens. At least that's where I'm coming from because that was me when I was a child, right? So, but anyway, so um this actually wasn't with a child. This was with a player who has played before, but it was a new system ish. We were playing Girl by Moonlight, and the specific playbooks in Girl by Moonlight they're not necessarily interconnected, but there is a specific playbook that has a very specific transformation mechanic. So essentially, the playbook states that if the character is hurt, that triggers their transformation. Otherwise, they cannot transform at all. Right? Don't ask me for the name of the book. It's been a while since I've played Girl by Moonlight. For which playbook it was, but there's another playbook that has to do with time, where you can basically stop time magic and really kind of break the game if you wanted to. The player that fed into the trope was playing that, and essentially what happened is we were in the middle of a combat, and there was a moment where the player who had that playbook that had that transformation trigger was actually about to get hit and would have transformed and been able to take on their like magical girl form had the hit actually happened. But the person with the time playbook decided they didn't want that to happen. They were going to save their friend, and messed all that up essentially with their by
Hmm.
using, I think there's a special ability where you can like rewind time. Basically, they Prince of Persia it, so they never got hit. That would be my example of a player hitting a trope, and I was like, yep,
Yeah.
that's about right.
Yeah.
You know, stuff
Totally.
like that. I'm trying to like if and
That's
then
okay. We can only do one. You don't have to do two examples. I did
I was
two
just gonna
examples.
say, I was like,
Okay.
I don't think that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head where I've had like really feed into tropes. If anything, I myself when I'm making characters can fall into movie tropes sometimes,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because it's easy to grab a specific film character and use that as a base.
Yeah.
Like, I have a character I built that's basically a combination of Cressida Cowper from Bridgerton and Charlotte from The Princess and the Frog because I really wanted a comedic villain with a flamboyant sense of fashion.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
That's where it started.
So good. All right.
Adam, I have a couple of ideas, but I'd love to hear from you first. If you have any tropes that you've experienced in games that you want to share.
Well, my most recent experience with brand new players, I ran a free event at our library where kids could come in and try D&D for the first time.
Awesome.
And 90% of them had never touched the game before, and it was a lot of fun. I was the only GM, and there were like 40 of them. Like my expectations for attendance were blown out of the water. So they were collectively one character, and
Okay.
we made decisions by taking a few suggestions and then voting. And I started to believe in Lord of the Flies because they were the most bloodthirsty character. Violence was always the first option that they entertained, and it usually won the votes. And I was like, what is going on? Like, it was supposed to be kind of a role play heavy scenario, but it turned into like every opportunity to hurt someone, they took it. And I was just like, this is wild. But we had a lot of fun though, and eventually they started to become more diplomatic as time went on, as they saw like that was a viable option. But for a little while I was like, wow. And one of the parents came up later, he's like, oh, that was really bloody. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Your kid picked that. Your kid voted for that. That doesn't end well. Don't tell parents that.
No, they had a great time. They had a great time. And none of the parents were upset afterward. They were just laughing about it. So
Yeah, it's interesting. The psyche of a large group of kids.
large
versus-
group of kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like smaller groups. And also,
Mhm.
especially their first time with gaming, often it's like they jump right to video games where it's like, oh,
Sure.
okay, I'm supposed to hack at it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, is it
Yep.
dead yet? Okay, do I get the XP? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so you have to kind of like, there's a little bit of like retraining that has to go on sometimes with TTRPGs. Yeah, but no, kids in large groups can be terrifying, even small sizes.
I'm sure you know better than I do.
No, I taught kindergarten for quite some time. Yes. Very, very aware. Okay, friends,
Yep.
please don't kill me. Okay. All right, June.
So to follow up on they wanted to do something nice. I was running some games for my family over the holidays, like you do, and my nephews were just approaching tweens, and they had one of their friends who wanted to join them, and I was like, great, sure, we can all play and everything like that. And they told me that from a previous campaign that this kid had a bracelet which generated unlimited applesauce. And I went, you know what? Unlimited anything is always a problem. But I don't think that he knows that yet. So let's run with this. And what they ended up doing was befriending all of the cultists who were supposed to be complete antagonists by handing out samples of applesauce to all of them.
Amazing.
Just in that, like,
Fantastic.
it was just such a great idea. And, we rolled a couple dice and it went over really well. So I was like, great, you've befriended everyone in the in the camp. And they don't want to, they're gonna let you in. They're not gonna question, where you are or where you're from.
Oh my gosh. As a parent, I just want something of an infinite applesauce. I will use that so much.
Yeah, no.
It made
It's
my
like a
life
Nona
For
pot,
real,
but
though.
just applesauce.
so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
But I have had the experience with the NPC or the player who wants to adopt every NPC.
Oh yeah.
and keep the menagerie going and all of the people, which we know is a gaming trope. And I've also unfortunately had the player, and this was when we were younger and teens, who wanted to get drunk and seduce people in the tavern, and really wanted to role play out all of that. Not necessarily the seduction, but it was very much oh, my charisma is this. Can I roll that? How come they don't want to go out with me? How come da 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 da? Or, I'm just going to keep drinking and drinking and drinking, and just wanted to do this sort of hedonistic wish fulfillment, I guess, was what it was. But those are the tropiest things that I can think of that I've personally dealt with.
That's amazing.
I can think of one more, but I don't know how tropey it is. I just think it's funny still to this day. I was running a D&D game, and it was an Oops All Paladins campaign. And every single one of those big buff dudes playing their big buff Knight of the Round Table flavored paladins forgot to smite during a combat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all you do? That's the point? How did everyone forget?
Well,
None of the wizards cast spells.
It might be a problem.
Oh.
Oh.
I love other doc in the chat says, this implies the existence of an elemental plane of applesauce.
Yes, that was exactly my
Yes.
thought. I was like,
The command
right.
word is mutts.
yes, I'm going to roll with it. It was fantastic.
So good. All right, I don't think we're
Wizards
gonna.
always like that.
Yeah, so good. All right, I don't think we're gonna top that. I think we're gonna
No.
wrap it up. We'll go in the same order, friends. Thank you for joining us for season 37, episode 3 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support Adam, he, they of Gnome Made Games. Again, you can find them at gnomemadegames.itch.io or looking for Gnome Made Games on DriveThruRPG. If you're listening to this anywhere near April 2026, please go to Kickstarter, check out 12 Realms. And it will be kickstarting starting April 7th. Please support indie RPGs. I already followed. I'm very excited. And thank you to our chat mod, James V, and to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can join their amazing ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. It's because of your amazing support that we can also help support and feature indie game designers. We don't have to look for sponsorships. We don't have to do any of that stuff. We can just do this for fun and also help other people, rising ships, etc., whatever that is. All right. My name is Kimmy, she, her. You can find my games at goldenlassogames.com. I am also the person who schedules and releases and does almost all the background Happy Jack stuff. So if you at Golden Lasso Girl, Golden Lasso Games, Happy Jacks RPG, pretty much anywhere, it's me. All me. It's me on many hats. I wear different hats. No, I don't. Actually, I don't wear hats. But that's all me. And this is all I'm doing right now, is I'm doing almost every Saturday except my birthday, which I'm taking off this month.
Yay,
I will be here on Saturdays giving good advice, or somewhat advice, at least hopefully being entertaining. All right, Vixie, you're next.
Hey everybody, my name is Vixie Bell, and I've been one of the lovely people here at the Happy Jacks RPG Network trying to give advice to the best of my ability. Doing great. Anyway, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Vixie Bell or at Pocket Dragon Pub, where I sometimes run, play, and produce games. And this month we are having my special birthday bash, because I also have a birthday this month. April birthday! Yes, thank you. April birthday, friends. Wait, hold on, other way. Yeah. Doing great. So in honor of Earth Day, which is my actual birthday, we are supporting the World Wildlife Fund with every game we play at the Pocket Dragon Pub this month. So
Awesome.
be sure to join us for that. And yeah, for everything else I have going on, you can find me on socials. I'm usually doing a lot. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to pass it off over to the wonderful June.
Hi, everyone. I'm June, she, her pronouns, and I'm a bit of a digital cryptid at the moment. So when that changes, I'll announce it on here. But in the meantime, if you're on our Discord and you're interested in game days, you should go ahead and definitely vote. It was reminded in the chat here. And I just want to appreciate each and every one of you who are watching or listening, because you are fantastic. And this is an opportunity that I get to call that out. And with that, I'm going to give our wonderful, this way,
Adam.
our wonderful guest, Adam, his opportunity.
I'm Adam. You can find me, if not at Gnome Made Games somewhere, then at Adam Makes TTRPGs. It would be awesome if you could support 12 Realms. Me and 12 other writers are making it. Of course, I had to hire 12 writers. Each of them gets to make their own little world in addition to all the other little pieces and bits that we're creating. So it's so fun, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Yay! It's been wonderful having you. So come back anytime. We're clearly very tightly scheduled and
Regimented.
Yeah, regimented. There's no openings ever. Also, thank you all for joining us tonight, live or listening or watching later. We appreciate you so much. Tonight we're going to leave you with a song by our friends, the world famous Poxy Boggards. It's called Whiskey in the Jar. Also, if you are in Southern California, the Renaissance Pleasure Fair is, I think, starting this weekend or last weekend, maybe. I don't know. I don't do it anymore. But it's happening, and a bunch of our friends here at Happy Jacks are performing and singing and doing a bunch of fun stuff there. So go check it out. And yeah, it's in Irwindale, California. So, all right. Check it. Thank you so much. And yeah, we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
As I was going over the far-famed Kerry Mountains, met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. Well, I first produced me pistol and I then produced me rapier, saying, stand and deliver, for you are the boldest saver.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
I counted out his money and it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket and I took it home to Jenny. But she smiled and she swore that she never would deceive me. But the devil take the women, for they never can be easy.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
I went up to me chamber, oh, for to take a slumber. I dreamt of gold and jewels, and sure it was no wonder. But Jenny drew me charges and she filled them up with water, then sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
It was early in the morning, just before I rose to travel. Up comes a band of footmen and likewise Rasher Farrell. Well, I first produced me pistol, for she'd stolen away me rapier. But I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
Now if anyone can save me, it's me brother in the army. And I think that he is stationed in Cork or in Killarney. And when we get outside, we'll go roving through Kilkenny. And I'm sure he'll treat me better than me only sporting Jenny.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
Now there's some as takes delight in the fishing and the bowling, and there's others takes delight in the carriage gently rolling. But me, I takes delight in the juice of the barley, and courting pretty ladies in the morning bright and early.
Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Whack-a-ring-a-ma-dee-a-ma-da, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.